All right, let's have this conversation now. Soon after taking over the reins, Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi announced efforts to intensify the fight against substance abuse across Gauteng communities. Now, part of this, of course, included a 24-hour anti-substance abuse call center, which is a service, of course, that will include professionals that are trained to deal with this particular problem, and it's already been launched. Let's find out now from the Premier, who's joining us in studio, how it's all going. Thank you so much for your time, Premier.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
You took some of the calls. How difficult was it? It
is quite painful. When a parent say, I'm handing over this child to you, I'm tired, if this child comes back the way he is, I can assure you, you'll not see him again. So it's a painful exercise, but we can't fold our arms. We can't fold our arms and say we are defeated by drugs, we are defeated by Nyaupe. Let's be honest, every person is affected now. There's no family that does not know somebody who is affected. So we can't continue to use the same systems when we know the results are not there. So we feel that by launching the call center, when parents will call us to say, I've got this child, I want you to come and pick up the child, we will come and pick up the child. Or I've got this child, I need this kind of help, we will guide in terms of the assistance that we can provide as government. But we are going big, very big. Every corner of Gauteng, there is no child that we can't take. We really believe if we can, we just have to ensure that we protect the future of our children.
So how does it work? A parent calls in and says this is where the problem is. Do you then have trained professionals that will go find the child, or must the parent bring the child in? And then do they then get some kind of rehab help? How does it all work?
It depends. The residential intake will start on the 1st of November. Those are the ones that will take for more than 6 weeks. And then we will then allow the Department of Health to come in with the health support that they need. And then the Department of Social Development will provide the rehabilitation program. The Department of Economic Development will then provide the skills, and the Department of Education will assess. If you want to go back to university, we'll fund you to go to university. If you want to go to school, we'll take you back to school next year. So it's an integrated approach of all government departments. We said that let's focus on these children and give them the necessary assistance that they need.
And are you going to be working with NPOs? Because when you look at reports since the announcement, there are some that are saying they're interested to be part of this particular program because they already are working in this particular sphere.
If you can help, come on board. Whether you're a private sector, NGO, you are a parent, you want to volunteer, whatever. We just have to put every resource that we have as a country and save our children. You know, we can't just surrender these children. You know, we can't surrender them and say it's a finished product. I'm hopeful. Even if out of the 50,000 odd, we just assist 700, I really believe we should have done, history will judge us to say we have done something. But we can't just say that's the end of the road. I don't believe it's the end of the road. That is why every parent must call our call center. Social workers are the ones that are manning that call center. It's 0800 22 8827.
Please repeat the number for us.
0800 22 8827. That's the magical number. And I'm calling on all South Africans. Let's use that number and save the future for our children. We can't surrender it to Nyaupe.
How important is it going to be, though, to vet these particular NPOs as they come on board? Because we also saw what happened with, the issue around Esidimeni. So there is, of course, a lot of anxiety around some of those that will be handing them over.
No, you're so right. That is why we don't want to repeat. That is why we are preparing thoroughly. That is why we are screening every person that is coming in. We are taking their details, because there are many other things that we must take into consideration. For example, you can't take somebody who's earning 350 rand and then put them in the program for fate that 350 rand. So you can't take somebody who at least have some piece job somewhere, and then you take there, lose the piece job. So our professionals will be in a position to make an assessment and ensure that everyone that comes into a place, we can provide the necessary support that they need.
And I'm asked to repeat the number. It's 0800 22 8827. 0800 22 8827. It will be on your screens right now, so you are able to then engage with us. Now, one of the things that we see, though, Premier, is that there's often this substance-induced psychosis that affects the families too, because they have to to deal with their children who are going through this. Is there some kind of support for the parents as well?
That is why I'm saying we are providing assistance to everyone. The affected individual, but the family as well. Because even when he comes back, the family must know how to relate post the rehabilitation program. So we're bringing families, we're bringing everyone. We'll allow families, we'll tell them at what moment to come and visit as well, because the family support is very key, and they themselves must track progress and check whether we are making meaningful progress or not. So we are calling on all South Africans, let's protect the future of our children. Let's protect the future of these young people. We can't deny them the future that we think will hand it over to them. They are the future, and therefore they must be fit and proper to take care of our country.
What about those, though, that are selling drugs? Because that is going to be also where accountability has to be, because it's all good and well to have systems, but if they're still going back to those same communities where they're facing the risk of relapsing because of an individual that's allowed to sell, accountability surely has to kick in there as well.
Leave that to us. Leave that to us. Part of the rehabilitation program is for them to assist us to identify the sellers. These are the people that knows the sellers, you know. So let's not put their lives at risk. So leave that part to us. We will clean those people. We are also putting up a program where even post-rehabilitation, we don't want them to go back to the street. We don't want them to go back and beg for piece of bread or something. We are putting them into skills program, job opportunities, so that they get rid of this thing once and forever. And as a country, we really should treat them like they're going to World Cup. I was telling the team, you know, when these children come here, show love, show care, you know. If we have to cut their hair to be neat and clean, give them new clothes, give them dignity packs, do that. This is our Olympic team. This is our World Cup team. This is the team that will represent the future of this particular country. We can't treat them shamefully. They must know that they are loved, they are cared, and we will respect them and give them the necessary assistance that they need. I'm
certain you did expect this question would come up around the developments in the city of Johannesburg, the ANC losing its mayoralship there. Please wear a different hat now and be the Gauteng ANC.
I hate to do that, but I'll do it for you.
Please do, please. I would like your response to that, because I mean, there's been a lot that has been said. The ANC in Johannesburg saying they're mulling their options right now. How do you respond to that? Because some of the people we spoke to on the show earlier on are saying that residents are worried about service delivery, particularly when they're seeing coalition politics crumble in this manner.
Well, firstly, let's appreciate that our court have made a decision. And that's how we solve problems. We don't solve problems through guns, through insults and other things. If you are aggrieved, you go to a court and the court will make pronouncements. So on the basis of that, we welcome the court outcome. We congratulate Mem Popalati as the mayor of Johannesburg, and we will relinquish our position. We are not power hungry. We are not going to resist that part and try to come with delaying tactics like they did. We accept that. We go back to our opposition benches, and then I'm going to meet with our coalition partners and plan our way forward. We respect our coalition partners, so I'm not going to make a decision on their behalf. But I can assure you, it's just a short-lived victory. It's not going to last long. Because all the coalition partners that made government with the DA have come to our side. They feel that the ANC is treating them nicely, and then we can work together to advance service delivery. So it's temporary inconvenience, to be quite frank.
I suppose then, if I'm hearing you correctly, a motion is loading.
Well, it's one of the options that we have. It's legal, it's acceptable, but we are not going to rush it. We'll do it. That is why I want to study the court judgment. What are the things that the court says that we've done wrong, so that we don't repeat the same mistakes? But I can assure you, it's just a temporary inconvenience, and it's a short-lived victory. And those that are enjoying it, they must enjoy it while it lasts. Yeah,
because some of what the court is saying, it's hitting very hard at the speaker to say that processes were flouted here, and you also look at the fact that she's also been slapped with a cost order, and really looking at the programming committee to say that there should have been sufficient time that is then given here. How then do you begin to assure the residents of Gauteng to say that service delivery for them is not going to be impacted, because they're looking at what is going on in council and they worry if the real work is supposed to be taking place there is indeed taking place?
The good thing is that check service delivery before we took over. People of Soweto are marching every day without electricity. As I'm speaking to you now, they don't have that electricity. We came in hardly 2 weeks. We've put a very strong point to the Minister of Finance, and we are hopeful that the Minister of Finance tomorrow will make an announcement that will alleviate and ensure that people of Soweto get electricity, or the cost of that they are facing are costs that can be made history. So we are quite excited that within that short space of time, the major problem in Johannesburg is electricity. It's not only electricity of Eskom, but it's the challenges of getting that electricity in our household. So we are working on that, and I want to assure the people of Johannesburg broadly and everyone that it's just a temporary inconvenience, but it's not going to affect service delivery. And when we reclaim what belongs to all South Africans, we'll be in a position to ensure that service delivery is accelerated.
So are we then seeing an ANC candidate, if I may put it that way, taking over the reins in Ekurhuleni, because there's also another motion loading there against the mayor?
Well, we work with our coalition partners. We don't impose our candidates. If coalition partners want another person to be an executive mayor, we'll support that. If they want the ANC to lead that municipality, we'll give that a proper consideration. But we are not in a rush to just lead. We want coalition partners to agree what are the do's and don'ts. And in Ekurhuleni is a good example of our coalition partners' work. We ran a coalition government there for 5 years without any form of disruption. So we are learning from that experience. So in Ekurhuleni tomorrow, together with our coalition partners, we are going there open-minded. We don't know what will happen, but we are going there open-minded, knowingly that if we succeed with that motion, we will field a candidate that is acceptable to all coalition partners. We will not impose our name or do that without consulting other coalition partners.
I know I must wrap, but in 10 seconds, are you able to share with us that plan that you submitted to the Finance Minister for the electricity tomorrow, or should we wait?
The Minister will make the announcement, so I don't want to steal his thunder, and he will say I'm unreliable. So
all right.
Let's allow the Minister to go through that process.
I was hoping you were going to give us a different answer, but thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Do appreciate it. That is Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi.